So two trades here this morning. First one was a loser on Tesla, quick little stop out. And then the second was a really nice winner here on NVIDIA. I'll show you both in full here, starting with that Tesla trade replay. So nice little BB reversal that I thought I wanted to go for. Just couldn't get the timing right on it and got stopped out. 37-cent stop loss. Took a little bit of an L here, but not the end of the world. Maybe the thing I should have avoided here was a little fake out higher first and then pull back. That probably is what I maybe would have wanted to wait, just be a bit more patient on. Why we don't chase, right? Good example here, exactly why we don't chase, even though price action wants to trick us into it. Why we don't chase. And still looking for that overreaction flush inside that zone. If I don't get that overreaction flush, I will not be clicking that submit button, right? Need to see that overreaction. Okay, getting closer here, right? Getting closer. All right, that was that overreaction right there, and I am in. Average price 165.27. Average price 165.27. Stop loss 164.90. So pretty much green right away. Like once I got in, right, it was up like 20 cents a share almost immediately. But then that move didn't sustain. And then here we go, right, almost right away at my stop loss. So at least on this trade, it was red right away. Didn't have to worry about this too aggressively and got stopped out pretty much instantly. Close here, it's getting close. All right, I've been stopped out, guys. So I think in hindsight, right, ultimately, I'm not sure if this is a setup I would have avoided too often. Pretty good opening volume, little BB reversal play, got a nice little pullback, but the fake out on that pullback maybe is the concerning element. So maybe should have waited or kind of been anticipating a slightly more kind of choppy environment here or look for sort of a longer time frame. But I mean, this is a setup that I know I have kind of a win rate on of like 75, 80%. So I can't hold it against myself here too aggressively. Ultimately, my thesis was correct. This ended up running like $2 from what my entry price would have been a few minutes later. But I think I just got kind of stuck in a big kind of SPY sell-off. A little bit unlucky with that timing and maybe should have been watching the indexes just a little bit more disciplined. The nice thing here, right, is my stop loss was 37 cents. So I didn't get very emotionally attached to this thing because it stopped me out very quickly. And I kept my loser really small. Like I lost like 560 bucks on this trade. So not the biggest kind of pain in the world, but I think there probably should have been a few things I could have done a little bit better. Once I saw that fake out, probably should have switched to a longer time frame to get less signal noise, and that would have made this trade easier. So second trade here, NVIDIA. Nice little bull flag breakout on NVIDIA. Was looking for a move through 293 towards that sort of 295 area. Had a really tight stop loss, got a really good entry here on this play, and got really good follow through. So kind of another A+ look here this morning, and this one actually paid me out, and I got like 3R from what I was risking. So a nice little bounce back trade, got to a nice green day, and really happy with how this trade was executed. Again, 2-to-1 risk reward to high a day from here as well. I'm gonna wait. Okay, so I was going to look for an entry here, guys. Going to start to look for an entry here in a sec. Oh, maybe not. Stop loss has to be 291.40. So I was like entering on an overreaction flush. And so if I get an overreaction flush through what would have been my stop loss on and then readjust, right, and pick a new one, my stop loss then ends up being the low of that high vol candle, right? And so I just adjust that to that level and look for a risk reward pullback within that zone. Your stop loss have to be here now instead. 290.58. As it stands, you're risking $1 to make 328. That's pretty decent. So here could be your overreaction flush. Still waiting, right? Still waiting. So now my base assumption becomes that 291 is going to act as an area of support. So as we get an overreaction flush towards that zone, I want to basically sanity check and see how price is behaving or how price is bouncing off of that area. If we start to see a little bit of absorption there, we start to see a little bit of bullish volume step in, that then becomes my entry trigger. So I'm going to be a little bit patient on this entry, but ultimately that becomes sort of what I'm looking for. I tried to pick that 291 as an entry target. I'm looking for a little bit of a kind of a crash or a flush underneath that zone, and then that's where I'm going to look to enter. Still watching here, right? Still watching. Right after getting maybe a little bit unlucky with that Tesla timing earlier, I'm basically just making sure that the indexes are giving me a very similar look. So if I'm starting to see absorption in NVDA, I want to see absorption also in QQQ and the SPY. So I did a quick little check there, right? QQQ is giving me that same look. So I'm just building confidence that my thesis here is correct and that that 290.50 area is going to be the correct stop loss. So I'm not trying to rush into a decision here, trying to get that nice little pullback and perfect sort of entry spot. But so far, all my elements are kind of syncing up and telling me strength from bulls. Still watching, right? Still watching. I got everything set up here. So you see how every time, right, we kind of get under that 291, it quickly kind of bounces back up and gets over. What I'm now trying to look for is like an overreaction flush, really kind of wipe out all those sort of chasing bears. And then that's going to give me an opportunity to basically run this thing higher pretty quickly, where I'm going to spend very minimal time in the red. So far, really good reaction. Pretty much textbook move under that 291. Good absorption, so that's my entry trigger. All right, guys, I am in average price 291.13. And let's see if this thing can get to entry protection mode. I got a little bit of slippage on my entry, so not super thrilled with that. But let's see if this thing can get up there. Okay, so far so good, right? So far so good. Gonna trim a little bit off, maybe like 291.80, 291.75, that kind of area. Well, 295 is the kind of the risk reward area. I just said, right? First profit target's going to be like 291.80, 291.75, something along those lines, right? Kind of creeping up towards that 292. And the reason I'm choosing that as my area to kind of scale out is because when I was initially looking at that trade, that was kind of the give or take entry zone that I was looking at. So I'm anticipating that that area is now going to act as like a baby area of resistance. So it basically makes me fake out proof if I can be risk free by that zone. And then also right at that spot, because my first trade of the day was a 37-cent loser, I'm going to be nicely green on the day. And so whatever happens, I'll then be protecting a green day. So it's kind of a compound thing there. But ultimately, that's the logic. Well, let's see if this thing can go. We're doing all right here, though, right? Not spending really any time in the red. So let's see if we can get a little bit of separation. Okay, I'm going to take some off here in a second, guys. Try to go 291.80, right? Profit target 15 cents away. I'll get to risk-free at that point. Okay, 12 cents. Come on. Go, 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 go. 5 cents. Come on. Sneaky. Pretty happy with my entry price. Maybe trading my P&L here a little bit, right? Trying to get like that 37 cents of separation to be green. Okay, another attempt here. Let's see if we can go. Feels like it got stuck a little bit at that 291.50 area. So let's see if we can get a little bit more separation here. There's that 291.60 again, 65, 70, 5 cents away. 2 cents away. All right, there we go, guys. Got a little bit off there at that 291.80. Stop loss on now on my remainder is going to be my entry price. And let's see if this can give me a little bit of further separation up towards at least high a day. That's going to be the next profit target. But so far, so good. Hopefully you are all now green on the day here after that opening trade. But good recovery here, guys. Good recovery. Excellent entry. Very, very patient on that entry there. And I took off about 2/5 of my position at 291.80. So let's see if we can get a little bit more separation here, but good trade, everybody. Good trade. And now you should be risk-free, right? So stop loss above your entry price plus whatever the spread is. And let's see if we can keep getting a bit more oomph here. But feels like a little bit like we found a bit of a bottom. So let's see if we can not pull back here too aggressive and just start breaking back up. Indexes seem to be cooperating enough. A little bit of potential, some headline risk, right? So don't want to be too aggressive here. Not going to fall in love with this. And yeah, so the morning had to work a little bit for it. But nice that we can find a second trade sometimes, right? When things are not always as busy. gonna call my stop loss like 291.20. Right, and I'm pushing my stop loss just a little bit above my entry price to account for the possible spread. So if this thing does then pull back into my spot, I'm not getting kind of crushed there. And I'm still kind of protecting a green day. So to a certain extent here, I am trading my P&L a little bit more than I maybe should within that context. But I'd always rather protect the green day and be a little bit too aggressive there. So I'm okay with that to a certain extent. Maybe something to think about going forward though. All right, so let's see if this thing has juice here. Anyone in this trade with me? That's all right. What strike price, T-Cron? Yeah, that's a pretty nasty fill. But still well within your risk reward structure there, Rusty. You're okay. Like I tried to click when I was at 291 and I got a fill at 291.13. So that happens. See if this thing can go. Come on. Just teasing my stop loss here. Go in. I close here. It's a scratch day. It's just kind of tempting. Feels like if I close, I'll probably run 1,000,000 miles. What price did you get on that, D-Cron? That's not terrible. Ah, 55 bucks is 55 bucks though, right? You can buy yourself some ramen. But yeah, I think you got to be fill orders, especially on these when you're trying to buy that big pullback. So you can get kind of some fucky behavior. Sorry, for lack of a better term. There goes Tesla again. Oh, that's annoying. 167 now. That would have been a monster. Way it goes. Yeah, so see if we can get a bit more separation here. Maybe the next take profit target's going to be we get a pop above 292. I'll trim up maybe a bit more off there, just de-risk. I'll get to like half of my original position. I took off like, yeah, like I said, 2/5 at that 291.80. Ooh, yeah, I saw 291.99. We had the right idea on Tesla. It's nice to see, I guess, in hindsight, but annoying at the same time. Fernando, what didn't you like about this trade? You didn't take it. What didn't you like? Well, it's just very methodical, right? We hit 293, so what's the next level we've got written down? 295. But even on that entry, right, you were still getting... You're risking 66 cents to low a day, or to your stop loss, for $1.80 towards high a day. So you're still getting 2-to-1 risk reward towards high a day. So even if your profit target was high a day, it was still a reasonable setup. And we were targeting a move that was less than 1%, right? So try to look at some context sometimes. Yeah, I'm going to try to take a bit more off here, right? 292 breakout if I can get it. Hey, took a little bit off there, guys. 292.06. 292.06. Nice little ripper here, right? So now let's even keep getting a bit of further follow through. Stop loss on my remainder is going to be still at my entry price. And let's see. Okay, next profit target is going to be 293. I'll cut half of what I have left at that area and then see if I can get follow through towards 295. But great trade, everybody. Great trade. My only concern here a little bit is maybe the volume on this 10-min, not fantastic. So a little bit over $1 a share here now, right? Like $1.30 a share. So if you aren't green this morning, you think about your position sizing. Right? Why were you, again, stopped out? Okay, you get stopped out on the first trade, that happens. But why is this next trade, why aren't you green on it, right? So think about your position sizing, maybe something a little bit too aggressive on that first trade. Not sized appropriately for the second trade. But creeping up towards that 293 here now, right? That's my next profit target. And I'm going to close half of what I have left there. And then have a small chunk remaining for sort of that 295 area. So 15 cents away. Let's see if we can get it. Everything's breaking out, so it feels like we've got to look 10 cents away. A little bit of a pullback here now off of those highs. A single red candle on AMD yet for the socio. I'm just going to put my stop loss towards my where my last take profit was. So, or the one before that, sorry. So like 291.80-ish. I just don't want to give this, turn this into a red day here. I'm green on the day all of a sudden, right? So make sure that I'm protecting that above more than anything else. So if I get stopped out at that area, I won't be too bothered. But I'm also not going to let myself go red on the day, right? I have to work my ass off to kind of claw it back. So I'm not going to get too greedy, too aggressive, too whatever. Buy still very much daily inside bar here, right? So we're not getting a huge indication of trending price action here still. So I don't want to be too aggressive. But a really nice trade, right? Really nice trade on this NVIDIA. Nice little bull flag breakout. And again, right? Rated for a really good entry here today. Really patient on that entry. And that's made life really easy for us. Spent very little time in the red. What that Tesla should have done for us this morning. That thing's up, yeah, $2 a share. A little bit unlucky with that, but good process, right? Consistent process on our trades. We get a nice little outcome the next time we do it, right? We just play that game of variance. No big deal. Okay, let's see if we get this thing back up towards that 293, right? That's gonna be my next profit target. 50 cents away. Don't like this as much, right? That 292, like 90 area, just get hit like a little bit of resistance there. Decron, you still holding? Oh, you got yourself out at 225. I mean, that's a little 10% ripper. That's fine. Hey, green is green. Hopefully you're green on the day. I mean, you only got one contract, you said, right? So maybe not, but still hope you're green. Another 30 cents here, back towards those highs. Come on, push, push, push. A little bit concerning from Q. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a little bit off here instead of at that 293, I think. Just don't really like that reaction from QQQ. Feels a little bit like a rejection, right? So if I can get a little bit of a pop, buy on the up, not when it's going down. Try to take some off, like around maybe 290, 260, if I can get it. Maybe that's a bit of a hope and a prayer. I'm gonna pull back again here, right? Just that QQQ rejection's a little bit concerning. Markets can be ruthless. When you think like it's ready, like you should be selling, and then 5 seconds later, right, it's 30 cents lower, then you don't feel like selling anymore. All right, well, I got stopped out. I'll take it, guys. Great little rip. Nice to be back to green. All right, so slightly busier morning than usual, but I'll take it. It's a nice to be green here. Yeah, that QQQ rejection should have maybe been a little bit, cutting that just a little bit earlier. I'll take it, guys. Green is green. Well done, everybody. So ultimately pretty happy with this trade, right? It did end up running a little bit more. Like it did hit 295 eventually. Actually hit all the way up to 298.76 at the time of this recording, like 2:30 Eastern. So maybe could have held on for this trade just a little bit longer. But once I saw that QQQ rejection, once I saw that lack of volume on that 10-minute candle, no, I wasn't going to get too greedy here. Pretty happy with that scalp and getting like a 3R move, right? Didn't have to risk too much. Got pretty good follow through. So happy to be green and on to the next one.